Hey, friends, it's Sage. A lot of you know me as a book mentor, a writing coach, or maybe through my intentional creativity workshops. But what many people don't know is that I've been making zines for almost 22 years now. Zines are a huge part of my creative life. Actually, they're part of my creative lineage. They're where I first found my voice as a storyteller, where I learned to trust my messy process, and where I realized that creating doesn't have to be polished to be impactful. If you've never made or held a zine before, there are these awesome handmade books, sometimes collage, sometimes illustration, sometimes text heavy, nonfiction, fiction stories. Each one is as unique as the person making it. I made my first zine in my 20s when I was craving a way to share my story without waiting for permission. And zines gave me that. They gave me freedom. I learned that I didn't need a publisher or an approval stamp. I could write, print, staple, and share something from my own hands. It wasn't about perfection, it was about expression. Over the years, I've made zines about everything: my time working in a tattoo studio, motherhood, healing, creativity, mental health, and now my farmstead. When I think about lineage, I think about what's been passed down, not just through bloodlines, but through the creative thread that moves through us. Zines are part of that for me. They're how I learned to make art in the middle of chaos. They're how I built community. They're how I came to see my own voice as something worth sharing. And honestly, when I look at everything I've built, my writing programs, my books, my Patreon, my creativity workshops, I can trace it all back to those early zine days. It's where I learned to combine heart and hands and story. So, yeah, zines are absolutely part of my creative lineage. They're part of what made me me. A little over a year ago, after taking a few years off from zine making to focus on my health and my family and my business, I decided to return, but this time with a focus on the life I'm living here on Sacred Roots Farmstead. A beautiful slice of what I call heaven in the Pacific Northwest, here on the indigenous lands of the Upper Chehalis peoples, also known as the people of the sands. It's where my zine Sacred Roots was born. This scene is my way of documenting life on the land, the beauty, the heartbreak, the humor, the growth. Each issue holds pieces of my days with my animals, the chickens, the garden, the lessons that come with living in rhythm with the seasons. It's not glossy, it's not fancy, it's handmade, folded, stapled, imperfect, and that's the whole point. I'm 3 issues in now, and each one feels like a little time capsule of the farmstead, a way to honor both the visible and invisible work of creating a life that feels aligned. The newest one, issue number 3, it's the summer 2025 issue, holds a lot of that energy. It's about raccoons raiding the grapevines, my broody chicken named Dorothy, an apple tree that finally shared some fruit, and the tenderness of navigating grief in the heat of summer. It's about the tomatoes that thrived and the plants that didn't, and what it means to keep showing up anyway in the garden and in life. I also write about water glassing eggs, my ongoing farm goals, and just these little glimpses of the ordinary magic that happens here at Sacred Roots. When I hold this zine, it feels like holding a season of my life, both what bloomed and what was lost. You can find this issue along with the first two in my Etsy shop if you'd like to read them and start your own little Sacred Roots collection. And if you've ever been curious about making your own zine, even a tiny one, in my Patreon community this month, in October, we're working on a project called the Book of Honoring. It's a mini zine where we explore what we're honoring in our lives right now, both creatively and personally. And even though we've already begun, you can join anytime. Watch the replays and join the community right alongside us. Remember, it's not about making something perfect. It's about making something true. I just wanted to share this part of my creative life because it's such a big piece of who I am. Zines taught me to create from the heart, not for applause, not for validation, but because making things keeps me connected to myself and to the world around me. And that's what Sacred Roots is all about. Staying rooted, creative, and connected in every season. Thank you for being here, for witnessing my process, and for walking with me in this creative lineage we're all a part of. If you want to check out the zines or the Patreon project, the links are below. And if you're making something of your own right now, keep going. The world needs it.